Welcome back to Basement Movie Room. We're here to review a new vinegar genre film. Vinegar Syndrome released this movie a while back. It is called Fatal Games. Probably something most of you have never heard of. Fatal Games is a slasher film from 1984, and it centers on a group of Olympic hopefuls that
Is
are
it a
hoping.
slasher, bro?
It is. It's qualified as a slasher. A what?
A poker.
Yeah, poker. Or a poker than a slasher.
Or a poker. There's not a slash.
So, yeah, it's definitely a poker. So, Fatal Games centers around a group of Olympic hopefuls trying to qualify for nationals in the, I guess, the United States.
Yeah,
They're at the FAA, the Falcon Athletic Academy.
Yeah.
And it's just a general group of 1980s teenagers who look like they're 35.
Yeah.
Of course. So we follow these people kind of figuring out what gymnastics or swimming or, things they do. And we see that they're all pretty good. They're all expected to make like the Olympics or at least the nationals. They're all trying to make the nationals, runners and javelin throwers and things like that. And they're all kind of your typical 80s stereotype type people. One guy's a real asshole and douchebag, and then you have a couple. You have a bit of the nudity in there. The women have no issue with the nudity in this movie. They're naked about 30% of the time, I'd say.
So check it out.
Yeah. And the review is done.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Well,
So-
see you later.
So what happens is we slowly are introduced to these characters. More character building than a Zack Snyder film, to be honest. And slowly introduce these characters. We have, and I'm going to be honest, I only remember two of their names. I remember Phil and Nancy. That's the two names I remember.
Frank.
And then we have, there's a Frank. Of course there's a Frank. There's probably a Bill.
Yeah.
There's the coach. There's Diane, the nurse. There's Dr. Frankenstein, or whatever his name is, the doctor for the team. And that's pretty much it. That's all I remember. That's the only memorable characters. There's others that are named, but they're just fodder, essentially. But we have basically 7 or 8 main characters that we know are our targets for our slasher. So we get in this, we start getting to know the characters and what they do. One of them does the bars. That's what's her name?
She's the main.
She's
the
it's not Nancy.
No, not Nancy.
No, Nancy's one of her deaths.
Yeah.
We're gonna call her.
She's the main character.
We're gonna call her Mary Sue, and because she's not a Mary Sue. She's not a Mary Sue. I hate that
Right.
term. She is. She's kind of like that. She looks a lot like Linda Blair.
Yeah.
Like the feathered hair and all that. And Phil, her boyfriend, and then javelin thrower douchebag. And we have runner guy. Phil's a runner guy. He's also a baseball player, apparently, which comes out with 80% of the movie's done. And he says, I'm going to try out for the Pirates.
Yeah.
So basically, we're setting this up, and they're all hopefuls. One of them called Nancy is our first death in the movie. She qualifies for nationals. She's the first one to get killed. And our killer wears a full Adidas tracksuit. And it's Adidas. You can see the lines, and she wears Adidas shoes.
Asics.
No, it is Asics. It's
Asics. Yeah.
I think the killer wore Adidas, though.
Whoa.
So the killer is a javelin killer. She kills with the javelin. She kills with the javelin. She or he?
Cross-dresser.
Yeah. 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 So he, whatever it is, the killer, kills with a javelin. So Nancy stays back with everybody, doesn't go out with everybody, stays back in the gym. And she gets javelin to the wall. I'm talking this javelin is thrown 100 miles an hour. You missed that, actually.
Yeah.
You were doing something else.
I was looking down or something.
She gets javelin to the wall. And the killer hides the body. So everybody's like, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Blah, blah, blah. And so they start disappearing one by one. I think we get 3 disappearances, ultimately. Maybe 4. Because javelin guy gets a javelin through the chest as well. But I don't remember ever seeing his body, ultimately. But
no, he was just left on.
Yeah, in any case, they start dying. And they start missing them. But, the weird thing is, they never think, they all have an excuse. She went to see her boyfriend in San Francisco. Or she her parents reported her missing, but nobody's heard from her. But nobody thinks anything of it.
Cleaned up.
Yeah. Nobody thinks anything of it. So
very, very grainy.
Oh, it's not a great.
It's all grainy.
I mean, it's as good as you can get, probably.
Yeah.
For a movie like this. But I'd never heard of this movie before. It's the first time I heard of it when Vinegar released it, and I'm glad I ordered it because back in April, Vinegar does an April Fool's joke where you like pay for something that you don't know what you're going to get. It was $10, and it was what was it? It was the Center for Preservation and Restoration Association of P or so. It stood for craps, is what it's called.
Nice.
So that ended up being an extra slipcover for this movie because Vinegar Syndrome was big about the slipcovers. They do great art with slipcovers. The art on the standard slipcover is cool. The art on the special slipcover is like, if you remember the old Nintendo game, Nintendo cards that you get and they'd have a little scratch off, it's one of those. It's very cool. It even has scratch off, and I'm not going to scratch it off, of course. It was like a game.
Judge a movie by its cover.
I do. I do it every day on Vinegar Syndrome. I ordered like 7 more movies this week. Get ready.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but this is
700 more.
This is your standard slasher. People start dying. People are like, where did they go? And ultimately the movie comes to Phil and the main girl with the nice feathered hair that looks like Linda Blair coming together, and Linda Blair character gets hit by a javelin, and the guy takes her to the nurse. It ends up, spoiler alert, if you want to skip spoilers, skip about 2 minutes down the road, we'll be done with it. The nurse, Diane, is a transgender person who didn't qualify for the Olympics when she transitioned to a woman. This is weird because this is like a big issue now.
Yeah.
It's like, this is 84.
I'm going to quote Christopher Nolan on Zack Snyder.
It's ahead of its time.
Watch me. This film was ahead of its time.
It is ahead of its time. Yeah. So the nurse was a transgender athlete, didn't make the Olympics, and now she doesn't want anybody to make the Olympics, so she's killing these athletes that are going to probably make the Olympics. And there's a big scene at the end where the main girl is running from her, and you see we have what do they call it? The gun. It's like when you see something in a movie, I can't remember what they call it. Chekhov's gun or something like that.
No.
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov. Yeah.
Chekhov's gun. So you see this trophy throughout the movie, and it's sitting on this table, and there's a thing behind it that you can climb up, and you just know. We were both like, oh, that trophy's coming back into play. It's Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun. And of course, the main girl who's injured by javelin, she gets javelin in the side, and I was like, it's merely a flesh wound. And then the nurse, the bad guy nurse, it's like, oh, it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, flesh wound.
Yeah. But she discovers that the nurse is the bad guy by seeing this paper that's for some reason there. I don't know why it's there. She sees this paper saying that she transitioned to a woman instead of making the Olympics. And she ends up climbing this tower, and of course the bad guy gets...
The story of Bruce Jenner.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So she gets... She climbs this little, like, thing and climbs out the window, and the nurse comes after her, and she knocks her off, and of course she gets impaled by the trophy and dead, and then pretty much credits roll. I mean, that's the end of the movie. There's not much to the plot of this movie.
No.
It's a fun slasher, I would say.
It really was.
It's fun. It's not good by any means. Vinegar scale, we're going to do that. We're going to do regular scale as well. But it's not a good movie. It's grainy as hell. It's ridiculous. The dialogue is terrible. But
This came out in 1984.
Yeah.
Which I was like, man, this is got to be late 70s.
Yeah, it feels late 70s, early
Yeah.
80s, which it was. 84s, early 80s, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, I was thinking more like closer to the 70s, the way everything was. I mean,
it was 84. Oh, the AMC Gremlins, though. The two cars that people drive in this are AMC Gremlins. And I'm like, it's AMC Gremlins.
Those are featured
Yeah.
quite a bit.
And, of course, the Mirthmobile in Wayne's World was a gremlin. This is an earlier gremlin. I think they were gremlins, at least. That's what... And the reason I always remember gremlins, funny enough, is the Nickelodeon show Clarissa Explains It All.
Oh.
That was her dream car. She wanted an AMC gremlin in that show, which is weird. Yeah, nobody wants a gremlin. Nobody wants a gremlin. Could have been a Yugo. I don't know.
Huh.
But so, I mean, overall, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's a quick watch. It's like 88 minutes or something like that. We were like halfway through it, and I was like, "Holy crap, we're halfway through this movie already!" It's like it was shocking. It's super easy watch, super quick. The kills, I will say, are all kind of samey. They're all javelin kills. They're all kind of like, "Oh, throw the javelin, the person's dead." That's kind of it. But at the end, javelin didn't hit the right spot and ended up screwing the killer. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about it. Anything from you?
No, not too much on this end. I mean, a lot of sex, a lot of nudity,
A lot of shower time.
Typical 80s.
Oh, the guy showering in his jockstrap. It's like the guy, there was a bunch of guys showering, all of them were bare ass, and then you get this one guy over here showering in his jockstrap.
And then one guy is talking to his buddy, basically wearing,
a hand towel.
A hand towel.
Yeah, like Starsky and Hutch.
And I was
The
like,
movie.
man,
that's not enough coverage.
That's not how a locker room works.
Please don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me like that, sir.
Gosh. But yeah, I mean, it was fun, but fun and terrible at the same time.
Soundtrack by John Williams. No, I'm kidding. The soundtrack is very samey throughout it.
Jan Williams.
Jan Williams. Yeah. Soundtrack's overall just samey. It's the same songs, like the same composition over and over again. Oh, there was that one part where the guy's out. They're playing like this. They got javelin thrower guy.
Yeah.
And they're playing like this music that says somebody's gonna die, and this is like this guy throwing the javelin. No big deal. And they try to make you think that guy is the bad guy. Is why they were doing that, I think. But he dies like pretty quickly in the movie. So
and then the one girl that's trying to make it to the Olympics as a swimmer.
Yeah.
She kept.
Oh, she's terrible.
Yeah, every time she jumped in the pool,
belly flop. Every time. Her dives were god awful. She was clearly not a swimmer. She did not know what she was doing. Belly flop every time. It was pretty fucking hilarious, to be honest. We were like, oh, is she going to belly flop? Yep, she belly flop every time. There's also like these minor side stories of like lesbians as well, which does not. Yeah, the coach and nurse, one of the other swimmers who's not a main character.
The nurse was starting.
Yeah, she's trans.
She was doing a massage on one of them.
Yeah, and like this is, I was like, oh, this is like sleepaway camp where the killer's the trans person, which is not an acceptable thing these days. But in the 80s, it was like trans people are weird. And now it's just like, it's just they're trans people, whatever, who cares? But in the 80s, that was not as simple a thing. Like, people didn't understand it. It was like, this is not politically correct at all, to be honest. So, going on that front. But yeah, the soundtrack, nothing to speak of. It's a general low budget 80s.
Yeah, the trans killer was killing with the javelin.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, the shadows always showed the big javelin. Yeah, and like you never see the face, of course, of the killer until the end. The killer is, but yeah, it's a Vinegar movie. It's a Vinegar Syndrome movie through and through. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean it was fun.
It's fun. Yeah. It's perfectly fine. It's a good one to just watch and have a few beers and have a laugh.
You didn't fall asleep on it.
I didn't fall asleep tonight. It's a miracle, to be honest.
So that has to have a high rate.
That gives me an extra 0.5 on it, right?
Oh, yeah. At least.
All right, so
0.5s?
Yeah, I do 0.5s. So that's Fatal Games. It's worth seeing. I bought it. I don't think you have to buy it. You could probably find it on like Tubi or something for free. But if you're a collector like me, you buy stupid stuff, and I do it all the time.
You will sell it for that.
No, there's no selling. You can go on Vinegar Syndrome and still get it, so feel free to go. All right, so ratings. I will go first. Let's do the vinegar scale first. Yeah. I'll go first on the vinegar scale. Vinegar scale, I'm going to give us a 3.5.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a
no sleeping thing, gotcha.
Yeah, that's the 0.5 actually right there.
Yeah, so, I'm 3 on this.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Kept my attention, typical poker movie.
Yeah. Hot poker javelins.
Hot poker javelins.
Yeah. So,
But,
So yeah, all right.
It was fun.
3.5 on the vinegar scale. What is your standard scale?
Oh God, this has got to be like a 1.5.
Yep, it's a 1.5. It's not a good movie.
No,
it's not good. It is not good. The only entertainment value is in joking around about it. It's worth watching, like I said, having a few beers, watching it, having a little fun with it. But yeah, it's a 1.5.
That's why we do this.
Yeah. And that's it. That is Fatal Games. Cheers. Thanks for watching Basement Movie, and we will see you next time.